Alright, now into part 2, personality. My favorite things about my favorite alchemist. Albedo is emotional. Shut up, yes he is. So, look, Albedo feels very deeply and he feels very often. When he gets bored, he acts cold, and when things don't grasp his attention, yeah. But the thing is, almost everything grasps his attention. Albedo is a naturally curious person and is curious about almost everything. So it's rare for something to really bore him. It's easy to overlook, but Albedo's curiosity is not hard to get. He's fascinated with just about everything from life, alchemy, to the interactions of people. He feels and he is emotional. He isn't cold when he's uninterested, he's annoyed and bored. But for the most part, he's happy and almost wishful. Even when he doesn't seem to get angry at his sketchbook being taken, he's not mad, but he still wants it back. So he still has that desire and that emotional drive. He just isn't angry as a lot of people would be. Uh, Albedo is emotional. Part 2. So, while his emotions seem lackluster at first, it's soon apparent that it's mostly the negative ones that he seems not to show often. And those are often the ones that we see the most. So I believe this is because he has decided to repress them as much as possible while allowing his positive ones to shine. This is because of all of his interactions with characters and the other people of Mondstadt and even some Liyue characters being extremely positive. Everyone who interacts with him seems to love him and think that he is a very cheery guy. So it's not hard to make Albedo feel. Contrary to popular belief, Albedo is pretty emotional in the sense that he feels emotions and it's easy to move him. Example An example of this is how he takes interest in the beauty of life and people, especially when he walks around Mondstadt to sketch them and give them pictures. Uh, he's also really petty when he wants to be. There's just something so smug and just almost annoying about some of his more petty interactions with characters, especially in his quest when he is like, "Oh yes, do continue." Woo, sarcastic Albedo. Uh, in that way, he's similar to Shang Li in that he feels emotions, but he is just calm by nature. So, Albedo's emotional little habits. So Albedo often walks around Mondstadt and will be so inspired and moved by seeing people happy in their element that he'll not only sketch them, but also give them said sketch. These are all things that you can find out through his personal story and also through his voice lines. So, Albedo finds joy not only in the light of new discoveries, but also in the joy and emotions of others. As seen above, he enjoys seeing people be happy, and he enjoys watching people interact with each other in positive ways. He's happy when Sucrose makes new discoveries and gets excited, and he is happy when Klee has a good day. He gets excited for others and not only for himself. It's nice. Simply put, Albedo likes people and likes to see them interact. I love how happy Albedo gets from seeing people do normal things like a couple walking or people working, because it makes the man seem so domestic. which is A plus, 10 out of 10. He also loves Klee and takes care of her when he can, as well as helping Sucrose and even taking time to decipher the Windbloom recipe for her in the Windbloom event, which I just thought was so sweet of him because he didn't have to do that, and he said he was busy, but he did it anyways, and Albedo's a sweetie. On that note, Albedo's also very kind. Uh, as I mentioned before, Albedo takes joy in seeing other people happy. He's a kind and sweet person. He likes to see people happy and even gifts them sketches just to see a smile on their face. Uh, he's kind of weird in the sense that he claims relationships are hard and take a lot of effort, but it never seems to stop him from forming them. He has a close relationship with Sucrose as more of a friendship and not just as her being his assistant. He also has a close relationship with his adoptive sister Klee, and everyone who has met him, like Jean and Lisa and Kea, all seem to like Albedo a lot. So, despite his voice lines about relationships, it never seems to stop him from forming them. Everyone who knows him loves him. Uh, Honestly, at this point, everyone in Mondstadt has a crush on Albedo, and I'm here for it. Albedo seems to have no problem explaining alchemy to people so that they can understand. I think oftentimes with characters who are smart, they always seem very lofty and out of touch. They tend to go along the lines of being a character who is out of reach and not understandable because of their intelligence, while Albedo takes time to explain alchemy and things to other people to make it more accessible and understandable, which I think is just great. Uh, Albedo and Klee, they're just adorable. Albedo is just so sweet with Klee. He knows her destructive tendencies and just sighs like the tired big brother he is. Actually, in one of his voice lines about Klee, he says that whenever she gets into explosive trouble, the only way that he can console himself is by reminding himself that she's nowhere as destructive as their mother, Miss Alice. Um, in his voice line, he says he sees Klee as his little sister, and I'm going to die. He's just so adorable. He obviously cares a lot about Klee, and it's just so cute knowing that Klee behaves because Albedo is a good big brother. More on Big Brother Albedo. Albedo is such a sweetie. He seems to naturally slip into a big brother role, even when he doesn't really realize it. He's Klee's adoptive brother, yes, but he also seems to brother Sucrose in a way. Uh, by making her take breaks and take vacations and looking out for her, and also how despite his best efforts, she won't drop the formality. Albedo is Albedo seems to be a naturally doting person who tends to worry about other people even if he doesn't realize what he's doing. Albedo is a family man. You can't tell me he isn't. I won't believe you. So Albedo's near obsession with life has to manifest somehow. I'll go home. But seriously, his relationship with Klee is obviously something that he enjoys, and Albedo likes people. He likes to see the way they interact with each other, and he likes to also have that kind of interaction in his life. Albedo is someone who is interested in life, and even thinks to himself that perhaps the meaning of life is to live life happily. Albedo wants not only to research life, but to experience life to the fullest. He enjoys seeing families be happy in the streets of Mondstadt whenever he goes out, and he's constantly talking about how he enjoys lively atmospheres, such as in the Windbloom Festival, where he says that he enjoys the gliding minigame because of the birds and the feeling of life that surrounds him. And feelings like that are things that are commonly associated with family. Uh, anyway, Albedo is a million% a family man. Albedo is also a very humble person. This man claims to not be good at much besides alchemy, and then proceeds to be good at literally everything. Sir, what? Albedo needs to stop being so humble. He's amazing. Uh, and he doesn't consider himself a genius despite being so smart. Like, just, sir, marry me. Albedo is stupidly intelligent. Albedo is extremely intelligent. He's good at almost everything he does, like cooking, painting, reading, uh, gliding, and playing the lyre. He reads things like alchemy as if it was a picture book meant for like children. I also think that's really cool that Albedo the discoveries that Albedo has made are on par with that of Sumeru academia, which is just so mind blowing because one man is as smart as an entire country that's leading in alchemy and study. He's constantly praised as a genius, and he deserves it because he is. And he's also just God at explaining it, so that makes sense. Timaeus states that Albedo always explains things so that they are easy to understand for anyone. And I think it's really unique that he has a way of explaining things so that despite how complicated they are, they make sense. Uh, he not only has an extraordinary mind, but he knows how to process that information so that other people can understand it as well. His curiosity is endless, and Albedo himself is very persistent and determined in his pursuit of his own curiosities. The next section will be Albedo as a Disney prince.